Before we begin, just a few disclaimers. Please do not skip. This isn't an ad, I swear. This video was sponsored by... I'm kidding. But seriously, this is my very first A Professional Reviews, at least a proper A Professional Reviews. So I'm a bit rusty. I don't normally do these type of video format type dealios, so I am very nervous first off, and I try to present my ideas in the best way I can. Sometimes it doesn't come off as understandable as I hope, so through the editing process via text bubbles and whatnot, I hope they do make sense. Another thing too is I talk kind of fast. I'm going to try my best to slow down my talking speed and enunciate my words better. This doesn't apply for the first one, because in the editing process of the first one, I realized, oh, I talk really fast. That's my bad. So I'll try my best. Sorry if it's a bit unintelligible sometimes. For this A Professional Review specifically, this series for the entire month of April, I want to clear some things out of the way. One, I have not seen a single bit of Empires or Empires videos. The most I've seen is the ending bit of Gemini Tay, the first video of LD Shadow Lady, and I'm currently watching Pearl's series. And the reason for that is because my brother didn't want me watching the series after I got really into Hermitcraft. He introduced me to Hermitcraft, and I got really into it, and he then banned me for Empires because he's like, I don't want you being a complete nerd over this. But this exists, so this was the one-time pass he gave me. What I want to find out in this album is, does it hold up as a full cohesive story and as a musical? Like, does it tell a story from point A to point B, even to someone who has no idea what it is? Can it be basically like analyzed and plucked and poked and prodded with different pieces and whatnot to see the true mystery? Glowing orb me, please somehow find a way to do it. Of the album. That should be all the disclaimers for now. The last one is I do move my hands around a lot because I am very nervous and I don't know what to do with these things. So, yeah. Sit back, relax, and enjoy whatever part this is of A Professional Reviews Empires, the Musical Ocean Queen Edition. Yeah! Look, it's Jimmy! Don't you guys just love love songs? I personally... Hold on one sec. Oh, better. As you can see right now, we are talking about the love section of the album, specifically King Joel. Now, a funny thing that I noticed upon my millions of rewatchings of this album, or rather the re-listenings of this album, is the opposites do attract. A scorched and bone-dry mesa with the ocean. Water's wet, I think. Another specific line I want to mention here, because it's pertinent later on, is, may bring the hair of a royal birth that one day will replace her. You don't have to worry about that now, but yeah, I mentioned it, so I get to call back to it later.
Nice tool that can help us later.
Another thing too is narrator Lizzie makes it seem like she knew what was happening the entire time. It was like, ah yes, my plan. I will woo him. When in actuality, as you can see from the next song, no. By the way, this is a tag. Don't worry about it. Now, if you know me personally, you know that I have a deep, deep ocean pun love for puns. I think they're very funny, very clever, and they're enough to make people hate you very, very quickly, especially if you do it in a library. I winked with the wrong eye again. Anyhow, the biggest pun in this song being real, real love, which embarrassingly enough took me way too long to realize that it is a pun of like R-E-A-L and not R-E-E-L. Yes, because she's a fish. Not yet. Spoilers, by the way. She's a fish. And you can see here, if you listen to it, Lizzie is very oblivious to King Joel's advances. And if you don't believe me, I don't even have to describe it. Just give it a frickin' listen, because you should have listened to it already, by the way. I'm not sure if I made that clear. You should have heard this album already. But yeah. It's great.
You could say it's a date.
No, that's a boat.
A cause to celebrate.
A thing that keeps us afloat.
I've just always felt so close to you.
You live next door, so I suppose that's true.
In Japan they call it koi.
Isn't that a type of fish?
Italians say amore.
That's a type of eel.
Make our kingdom stronger.
Make weapons, go to war?
Just stand right on this spot here.
Sure, but what's it for?
Here's a proposal, I just need the ring.
I'm incredibly confused. Why is it raining scaffolding?
You've stolen my heart.
How much help have you got?
My love runs deeper than the ocean.
So a few dozen blocks.
And this obliviousness is important because it shows that she's not fully, an evil ruler. She's still just Lizzie. In the end, King Joel proposes, which leads us into the next song. The song is really short, which means I don't have a lot of time to actually talk about the things that I wrote here, so I'm gonna have to have it, connect with the other one, and I hope that it doesn't cut me off. Something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. This refers to an old 19th century tradition meant to provide protection for her baby and for the couple. Prosperity for the couple. Read that wrong. Old represents continuity, as in timeline stableness. New refers to optimism for the future. Borrowed refers to borrowed happiness. And blue represents purity, love, and fidelity, which is something to do with fields, I think. Editing me here. So the full rhyme goes, something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue, and a silver sixpence in her shoe. Now the reason why I think they didn't add this last line is because in the world of empires, at least from what I can tell, they do things based on trading and not necessarily a physical paper money monetary value type thing. They trade goods for goods. So to, add just like paper money basically into the world of empires, it's a bit more difficult to, I guess, incorporate just for one simple rhyme. So they took it out. That's it. Yeah. And looking into my notes here, it says that the silver sixpence in her shoe represents a wish for good fortune and prosperity. And if you know how the album ends, / if the world ends, no good fortune happens, neither prosperity. So maybe it was kind of alluding to that. Of course, each of these things is referring to the couple as a two and not them individually as a person, unless it could count them individually as a person. But I don't know, I wasn't born in 19th century tradition, that stuff. Anyhow, back to your regularly scheduled program. Continuing on, the bridesmaids are 4 new people in the Empire's world that we've never seen before, which is Pearl, I wrote Jen here, Gem, Melite, Catherine, and Shovel. They're all allies too, by the way. Thought I should mention that for later. Pearl gave her an enchanted golden apple to represent something old. Gem gave her a amethyst shard, fresh from the amethyst garden. Catherine gave her a tiara from the secret treasure room. Now that's a little bit of behind the scenes because in the lyrics, which I'll pull up here, all it says is, "Then she led me to the case at the center of a treasure room." That doesn't really tell us what's in there or what it is. Maybe the case refers to like a crown case, and I was just dumb and didn't understand that. But thanks to behind the scenes / my brother telling me, I was told it was a tiara. So that's pretty neat. And finally is Shovel for something blue, which was a warped fungus, also used as a peace offering, which I also learned that in the behind the scenes stuff. And an interesting factor about this too is the term something old, something new could be referring to a character known as Zornoth, a demon. Something old being from Scott's past, and something new is his entrance to empires. Last 3 things I gotta say about this is Lizzie refers to all her bridesmaids as her friends, therefore we can deeply assume allies, which like I said, is pertinent later. And listen, I have a really dumb, immature brain, so when I heard this line,
We're the shortest one among us.
I'm disappointed in myself too, don't worry. But last and most definitely not least is the term something old and something new could also be referring to Zornoth. If you don't know who Zornoth is, hold your horses. We'll talk about him soon. Continue on, I just want to talk about the last 2 songs real quick. Real Love is a very sweet love ballad. It makes me smile every time, and it's just so precious and adorable. And as for Something Old, Something New, it is a freaking bop. I love boogie down toing it. Did I even say that correctly? It's just a lot of fun. And it is very colorful and vibrant. This APR isn't as so much about the way the music makes you feel. There will be another APR about that later. But this song does give a very nice visual of movement constantly happening, along with just heck yeah, pardon, we're getting married, woo, and whatnot. And also because I can, this is one of the cooler parts in the musical. Yeah.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, something.
To finish this week off, we will now talk about the royal wedding. Although, looking at myself now, this doesn't really seem proper dress for a wedding, so I think I'm gonna have to change. By the way, I think it's worth mentioning that I totally purposely made my hair flail out like that, like an axolotl, and it wasn't me just forgetting to look in the mirror and actually change my clothes. Cool. It wasn't actually me, forgetting to actually change my appearance. So the frills were totally intentional. Can't go back on that footage now, freaking it's permanent. But now it's time for the royal wedding, where there are two things I would like to mention. One of them is Pixlriffs, the Copper King, who went around the kingdoms trading just about anything. And Zornoff's entrance. Oh yes, he has showed up, an arrival, where the organ in the royal wedding shifts from being an organ wedding tune, the thing that plays there. Play it now, me, thank you. Wait, I have a better idea. We play the first part now, and then we play the rest of it next week, because that'll be the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. If you enjoyed, smash that. No. Thank you for watching Chapter 2 of A Professional Review's Empire's the Musical Ocean Queen edition. Gotta take those off so I can actually see. If you liked this video, please share around, because if you like it, there's a high chance that other people did too. And if you didn't like this video, please comment down below on what I can do better, because I know there's quite a bit. I'm still very new to this. Please see the disclaimer in the beginning of the video again. Or don't see it again, because you've already seen it anyway. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week with Chapter 3. Same news time, same news dial. Don't touch that dial. Or, yes, touch the refresh page on the dial. Next week. Don't do it this week. Nothing will happen this week. There will be no videos throughout this next week. So don't touch that dial. But only touch it next week. Touch the dial next week. Just punch your computer screen. Punch the dial with your fist. Next week. On the exact time. If you don't do it on the exact time, the video will never show up and you'll never see it again. No pressure. Ciao. Or no pressure. Ciao. Or no pressure. Frick you, you idiot! You stupid!